We will start the Jefferson Elementary School regular governing board meeting June 23 today at 7:03 p.m. Ms. Covery, could I get members present, please?
Clayton Koo.
Here.
Marie Brizuela.
Here.
Andrea Jordan.
Here.
Manufo Inga Anawai.
Here.
Maybell Monio.
Here, thank you. And Mr. Valenti, would you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Sure. I've learned to lift up the computer instead of just moving the screen.
Oh, something
All
happened
right.
to my screen.
Hold on, nothing happened.
Oh, there. Okay.
There we go. Please rise, put your hand on your heart, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Mr. Valenti.
Thank you.
We will now, the governance team will now review the governance team meeting guidelines at this time. Okay, and moving on to item 5, approval of the agenda.
Ms. Monio, I have a request to change one word in one of the agenda items, please. Item number 11A, the word, it says probe Nanita Tobias. I need probe to be changed to sub, S-U-B, please. That's item 11A under classified personnel.
Got it. Any other changes?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Valenti. I'll take a motion to approve with said edit.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with that change.
Second.
Motion in a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So moved with Mr. Valenti's edit of probe to sub on 11A. Great. Thank
Correct.
you. And moving on to item 6, we will take communications from board members. Any acknowledgements or commendations? Ms. Brizuela, you have a mic hot. Would you like to go first?
What'd you say? I have a what?
A hot mic.
A hot mic?
Yes.
That's a new one. Well, acknowledgements and commendations. Let's acknowledge the wonderful graduations we had, and how wonderful our students looked, spoke, and reacted. And it was a great time for everybody. So I was in grace with that. Thank you. Other than that, I really don't have too much.
Okay. Your hair looks great. Thank you, Ms. Brizuela.
Well, thank you. You're cute.
Ms. Manufo Leah Ananawai, would you like to go next, please?
Sure. I echo the sentiment of Trustee Brizuela. I know that we shared with Superintendent Vidalis. I took great pride in seeing how smooth the commencement ceremony was, and was hearing from Trustee Koo that it was smooth earlier throughout the day, that because I only caught the tail end, and then to see us in action that way, considering there was no rehearsal, I thought was pretty impressive. It was pretty impressive, and it was really nice to see, all of our graduates and the families gathering safely. And I got to hug Superintendent, for fully vaccinated. I got to hug Superintendent Vidalis. No more, it wasn't a virtual hug. I mean, that level of connectedness felt really good. And I want to commend, all of our staff and the families who abided by all of the rules and the coordination that happened. It was pretty amazing, and definitely an experience I'll be holding on to for a while, considering the year we've been through.
Absolutely. Thank you. Miss Jordan, would you like to go?
Absolutely. I also echo my trustees' comments. I had the honor of speaking at FDR. It was actually my first time speaking at a graduation. It was so great to see the students that also came up to speak and got emotional about just everything that has happened, this past year. The teachers, the resilience of the staff and our administration and our faculty, it's just beyond expression at this point. And so I'm just very grateful that we've gotten to the summer. I also want to commend the school district for the communications that have been going out since the summer has started with all of the programs and things that we have for our children to continue to keep their knowledge and their skills up while they're out of school at this time. So thank you for everything you're doing. And I'm grateful that the summer is here and I don't have to get my kids to class or to Zoom. So it's also a breather for all the parents out there. I'm hoping that you're getting some time to breathe as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Jordan. Mr. Koo.
Everybody has said what I was going to say. Just want to echo everybody's colleagues. It was a great set of graduations a couple weeks ago. And just want to wish everybody a happy summer and look forward to seeing you all in the fall.
Great, thank you, Trustee Koo. And likewise, it was such a big milestone for our eighth graders to graduate and stuck with us throughout the entire time. It seemed like pretty much half of their junior high was in lockdown, and it was an awesome thing to be able to celebrate in real life in the physical form with them. And, kudos to our administrators and our teachers and staff who made that happen so seamlessly, again, without rehearsal or any type of practice. So much, much respect to all of them, and a big congratulations to our eighth graders once again, and definitely happy summer to everyone. Superintendent Vidales, do you have any comments?
Yes. So yeah, thank you for those acknowledgements. We did abide by the California Department of Public Health guidance around graduations and ceremonies. So that was a super big help. Those came out like in March, maybe April. So it gave us some good lead time. We're awaiting still right now the CDC's and the California Department of Public Health's guidance for reopening the school year. They have not yet released those sets of guidance and rules. I think they think schools start in the fall, which is September. So we don't really need to tell them until August, but they don't realize that many of our school districts start in August. And so we need to know in July. We need a good 4 to 5 weeks of lead time to implement, especially if there are drastic changes or requirements. So we're hoping to get these here in the next few weeks, and so we can start finalizing plans for the fall. This week, summer learning started, and I got to visit 2 school sites today to see our kiddos in action. It was great to see kids in person and to see them active and engaged in different activities. As we spoke before with Ms. Jordan, our students are students, and they might have lost some opportunity to learn some things in school. And so we're seeing some examples of that in our summer learning program. It's not just academics, it's a lot of social stuff. How do you get along? How do you talk? How do you take turns? Things that, adults are having a hard time with as well, because we've been separated and apart. So looking forward to making us a community again, beginning this summer and through the fall. We have lots of programs going on, not just our in-person summer learning programs. We have some summer tutoring for reading going on, and we have a local camp contacted us that we've sent some students to in the past and said, hey, we've got some spots available. Can you send us some students? And they have great scholarships. It's a computer science camp in San Bruno, which happens to meet behind an ice cream shop. So there is and ice cream every day for parents who choose to get one. Anyway, it was a great experience for kids a couple of years ago, and I hope that we have some students who take advantage of it this year. Other than that, I think we're good. Looking forward to the summer, taking some time off. Last summer, as you know, many of us were not able to take any time off because we were planning for the year and pivoting to a completely virtual start from anticipating a hybrid start. So this is going to be a welcome opportunity.
Great, thank you so much, Superintendent Vidales. Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Actually, if there is no opposition, like to move 8F on the consent agenda out of the consent agenda.
Thank you, President Manio. I was actually going to make
Sorry,
a
can I?
about 8F as well, so I appreciate that you've brought that up. So thank you.
Which,
Did you have anything?
where is the F that you're talking about?
Bottom of the second page, 8F. Contracted
Oh,
service.
okay. Okay. I was looking on the first part of it. I can't find that. Okay. So you want that to be what? Take the star off?
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? If not, I'll take a motion.
Make the motion to approve the consent agenda with the edit of removing 8F.
I second the motion.
Thank you. There's a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you. Yeah, it's consent agenda is so approved with item 8F removed to regular agenda. It's going to be a little weird when we get back to the chambers and I don't have to do this anymore.
Thank goodness. It's hard on my lap,
Okay, great. Moving on to item 7C.
Oh.
The approval of affordable housing agreement, Jefferson Elementary School District faculty and staff housing project between the district and the city of Daly City, and authorizing and directing execution and recordation of agreement. The administration recommends that the board, 1, approve the affordable housing agreement, Jefferson Elementary School District faculty and staff housing project, sustainability in the form attached, and authorize recordation of the agreement in the official records. And 2, authorize the superintendent or superintendent's designee to execute the affordable housing agreement and take all action necessary to carry out the terms and conditions in the affordable housing agreement.
Ms. Kessler, do you want to provide some background on this? Thank you.
Of course. So in the workforce housing project, as you're probably well aware, we had to designate 10% of the units or of the unit space for affordable housing as the ordinance requires. And so in the process of doing that, we are also required by the city, in order to get our building permits, to have the agreement in place and recorded. And so I and Dr. Sean Abshire with Stradling, he works with David Kasnoka, have been working with the city to come to an agreement. There's very little changes that we can make, but we made a few changes on behalf of the district. And actually the one that was uploaded to you later on, so not with the original publication of the agenda, is the one that has the edits on it. And basically the edits that we included were so that those affordable houses, those 6 units, would be for district staff as well, as opposed to anybody from the public. And that's originally what they thought. It was written like that. So we had that entered into it, and the only way we would have people from the public in there would be if we had no staff that would qualify or wanted to do that. Otherwise, the agreement, and then there was one other thing that was removed from the agreement, the original agreement, and that was where they wanted us to attest that at least half of our units of all 56 units would be for this low housing group. And I basically said, look at the agreement is for the 6 units. It is not really appropriate to address any of the other units. And they agreed, and so they removed that. Mr. Abshire is here as well from Stradling to answer any kind of questions that you might have that are more legal oriented.
What's the AMI for that 10%?
The AMI, okay, so the way they do it is they take, it's 80% to start with. And then the individuals can continue to live there until they make 120% of the AMI, because they don't want them, they didn't want them getting in there. This is kind of the way they thought it would be best. Getting in there 1 year, and then the next year they're out immediately, and they want to give them the opportunity to perhaps save some funds and go up. So once they hit 120%, then they would have to leave.
So they have to qualify every year.
They do, and they have to submit their tax returns and such to the city, not to us.
No other questions or comments? Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Abshire, for your time here today. We appreciate you being here this evening with us. If nothing else,
Pleasure.
a motion to approve.
I will make a motion that we approve the affordable housing agreement for the Jefferson Elementary School District faculty and staff housing project between the district and the city of Daly City, and authorizing and directing execution and recordation of the agreement.
Second the motion. Sorry. Did you want to finish?
And second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Perfect. That was approved. Thank you again, Ms. Kessler and Mr. Abshire.
And thank you for working with me on this, Mr. Abshire. I appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Okay, so we are moving on to item 8F, contracted services, KLC Champions LLC. The administration recommends acceptance of a contract in the amount of $1,068,764.33 with KLC Champions LLC to provide after-school programs at George Washington, Garden Village, JFK, MP Brown, Susan B. Anthony, Westlake, Woodrow Wilson, FDR, TRP, and Ben Franklin. This contract will be funded by the ACES grant. Are there any comments from other board members?
I have a question.
Yes.
Being that it's held at these schools, is anybody within our district able to go to that? Or is it only those children that go to that school?
Yeah, this is part of the regular ACES program that we've been operating now for over 10 years. And so generally it's restricted to students in those schools to attend the after school program. It begins immediately after school and continues to 6 p.m.
Okay, so it's not open to all the students then, okay.
Yeah, each site has about 100 students that they can take.
Yeah.
The other thing I just want to say, this is new. We sort of had a break in service with after school programming due to the pandemic. We didn't offer anything over this last year during an after school program, traditional after school program. We did offer some services during the day and additional support and tutoring. So we did have a request for proposals that went out to different program providers. I believe we received 3, maybe 4 responses. School sites evaluated the proposals and they looked at the the offerings and compared them to the needs at their school. I can't remember exactly, but I believe at the initially 2 programs were selected. But then one provider decided to opt out and say that they needed more sites to be able to operate. And so school sites selected the KLC champions to provide the services. So they have the contract for all of our sites now.
One other question for you, Mr. Villante, is, by Dallas, are all our students in all the schools given an opportunity like this? Or is it just certain schools?
The ACES program, I think here shows 11 schools maybe. So 11 out of our 14 schools.
That's what I mean, but it's not all the schools.
Not every school does, no.
Is there a reason why?
Yeah, because it's an application process and it's a state program, and the state looks at the applications. They tend to select schools that have a higher percentage of free and reduced lunch applications. And so initially when we applied, we had, I think, 10 schools were part of the program. And then we reapplied again later and we got a couple more schools on. And there was the middle school program, which was a 21st century learning program. Nowadays, none of our schools would qualify if we were to apply now as a new program, because they tend to select school sites that have over 90% free and reduced. And we applied early on and we were selected, and then we are granted renewals I think it's every 3 years.
Okay. I just don't want to see anybody left out.
Oh, no. So the district in terms of trying to make things have more opportunities through our local parcel tax, we do provide additional funding for school sites that are not part of the ACES schools. So they can provide some kind of a program for up to 50 students. And then they can supplement that with any site or parent funds to expand.
Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Vidalis. I appreciate you sharing the details and allowing our colleagues on the board who may not be familiar with the ACES program and the history it has with our district, because I know, as you mentioned, it was pre my coming onto the board, and I appreciate some of members of the public that had reached out and weren't familiar with the process. I wanted to ask, is KLC a returning vendor? I'm not familiar with them prior to my coming on.
Yeah, KLC has not served any of our schools. They have been fairly active, I know, in the South Bay and Central Peninsula. And this is the first in our district. For the longest time we had other providers. We used to start, it was us. We were running our own program for the longest time in partnership with the Daly City Partnership and with the Daly City Park and Recreations Program. But then as staffing got tighter and tighter, we decided to go with the vendor. And as you know, this is funded by pre-governor days of Arnold Schwarzenegger, his initiative, Proposition 49, which was to tax the sales of cigarettes. And so in some ways, we're happy that people are still smoking because we get those taxes and we get to fund our after-school programs. But at the same time, we're not happy that we have enough money to fund our programs. And up until like 2 or 3 years ago, that program received no increases. It was funded at the same level. So our providers over time were finding it harder and harder to provide services because they were not able to provide their staff any kind of compensation increases for the same amount of services that they were providing. So a couple of years ago, I believe it was under Governor Brown, there were some increases, and I believe Governor Newsom in this year's budget has proposal at least has some increases for the after school program so that we can get the kind of quality staff that we need to work with our students from 3 to 6.
Thank you, Superintendent Vidalis. I know that some members had said that they would, I don't know if they're listening in, but I appreciate that we can be transparent of the process and the history of our ACES program. Harmony graduated from high school this last week, and she has benefited from ACES at MP Brown. And it's such a vital program for parents who need that extra support after school is done. So thank you so much for clarifying the process.
One of the
choosing
things
part.
that how I got to know champions or just start to hear about them. I had not heard about them prior to a year ago. But they've, like I said, been active in some of our districts in South County and Central County. During the pandemic, they were the first ones to come out and to say, we want to continue providing services to the students that we have been serving. So they worked with school districts and continued, along with, Head Start and other agencies across the county to continue providing that kind of care, from April 1st forward. When schools were shuttered and unopened. So they had that commitment to serve communities and serve the families that they touch.
Thank you. Thank you, Superintendent Vidalis. I also am happy to see this on the agenda because I am someone that has also used the program for my oldest and my youngest when school was open when she was in TK. However, I do have a couple questions with regards to the 3 to 6 timeframe. I know that we do have our kindergartners who get out before the 3 o'clock timeframe, and we've had programs in the past that have basically been able to help supplement that timeframe. And then I know that there have been also times where we've had children that needed to start before the actual school timeframe where there was programming beforehand as well. Can you speak to that, and if this also allows for this, or if there's any other programs that we have that will fill those gaps?
Yeah, we do have district staffed childcare, I believe, at our school sites. Different schools bridge that kindergarten to the beginning in different ways. Sometimes it might be an extra fee for the family. Sometimes the schools can cover it. Sometimes, it varies by site. The before school care is district run, and we have staff who, it's very hard to find staff who can work for an hour and a half in the morning and again an hour and a half in the afternoon. But we do try to find or try to create positions where those could be incorporated.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you as well, Superintendent Vidalis, for shedding some light on the history of the ACES program. I too have benefited from it. My daughter also at MP Brown with ACES, but she also was with the Y at Ben. And I'm just wondering what happened there and why, because it seems like each school had kind of a little bit more control over who they were able to select for this service.
I think, the pandemic sort of disrupted everything. Everything stopped and we needed to ramp up again. So we did do the request for proposals to all the providers. And I believe all of our past providers were invited to submit a proposal. And then the school sites evaluated those proposals as to the needs of their site and how well they promised to meet those needs. So that was, I think every school site was as involved as they ever have in the past. I think because we have to do a restart, it looks like, it's everybody doing the same program. That's not the case. When we started off, as I mentioned, our district would help to run these programs with Daly City Park and Rec, with Daly City Partnership. And then other providers were brought on to take 1 school, 2 schools, 3 schools. Then we had the middle school program, and then they looked at different programs trying to find the right provider for their site. And then everything stopped, and then we had to restart. So every school site, I think, was as involved as they ever have been to select or help select a provider for their site. I did get a message from our coordinator for these programs that kinder care is provided by champions at the school sites with kindergartners.
One more question. Sorry, Superintendent Vidales. Thank you for clarifying all of that. When you say the school sites were very much involved, who exactly is making that decision on the school site? Is it one person? Is it the principal? Both?
At minimum, it's the principal. I don't know. I would imagine, I was not in that room, so I would imagine different schools have different folks evaluating them, different staff members, together with our coordinator of after-school programs.
May I ask a question, Bernie?
Mhm.
When in doing something like this, shouldn't we be inclusive that, at least I think we did many years ago, that we would have a parent on a committee with, being involved in this? We had a parent and we had a community member. We had different people that were involved in helping us decide what's good for each school and making sure that all the opportunities are met. So I wonder why we've gotten away from that.
I can't really speak to how things happened in the past. It was at the beginning, the whole process was more collaborative because you did need to demonstrate in your application that you engaged a broad range of your community stakeholders and how you developed your plan and how you developed your services. But ever since then, it really hasn't. When sites have switched providers, it hasn't been in the same way as inclusive as it was at the beginning when we had the 5 initial sites.
Can we go back to making sure we do that? I think it worked really well.
Yeah, I think we can as we look
Okay.
forward and as we move
Okay.
ahead.
We're at, we're now that we're all back into place and we can do things. Let's
Yeah.
do it. Let's do it. I'd like to see every school be involved.
I like that idea too. Superintendent Vidales, for this action item, is this for just the next school year?
Yeah, this is we do contracts for 1 year at a time. And so oftentimes providers change because they're not able to fulfill what they've promised. And so school sites are dissatisfied with services, and so they look at other providers. So I would imagine it would be the same moving forward.
Got it. Thank you.
I have a last question, sorry. So if a school site is not happy with their services, but the others are, is the plan to keep Kelsey for those schools that are happy, and then for the other schools, we would go out for a process for a rebid again? What does that look like?
That's what it's looked like in the past, yes.
Perfect.
Mhm.
Thank you for that question, Trustee Jordan. That was a good one. If no other comments or questions, I'll take a motion.
I'll make the motion, but I also want to just mention that I agree with what was shared by Trustee Brusuela, that if we could make that notation of the next round, since this is an annual contract, maybe that we can have a follow-up prior to the bidding process to ensure that the vendors are clear of the process, and on our end internally, who the committee will include to make that decision at each site level. I love the idea of us ensuring that we have a parent and or community person in the decision making. I know that this is such a vital program at every school site, and I love hearing that you said every school site was involved. I just would like to say that I believe that it should be reflective of what the school community is. So I love that we're on the same page. And with that said, I'd like to
be assured that every decision that is made to change providers has been made with lots of input from staff and families, because that's the reason we've had to change, because there was a lot of dissatisfaction at that level. So I think that will continue.
Thank you.
So go ahead. You've made your motion and I interrupted.
Thank you, Superintendent. So I'll make the motion as recommended then by the administration, that we accept KLC Champion LLC contract in the amount of $1,068,760.33 to provide services to the schools, the 11 schools listed in item F.
Okay, so again, I gonna piggyback, that means that only 11 schools.
11 schools with this provider, yes.
Okay, so I don't want to say no to the motion, but I also want to ensure that there's going to be another one brought to us in a timely manner so that it'll be approved as well.
Oh, yes, you do get the other schools, the other 3 schools, when they decide on their providers for their after school, those contracts do come to the board.
But will they be reminded to get it to us soon?
Well, before school starts.
Okay, I want to be sure that we
Yeah, it
haven't left any
happens,
child left behind.
happens every year.
Yeah,
There's a
right.
motion on the floor.
Did we get a second on that?
I second the motion.
Thank you.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Great, that was unanimous. Thank you. And thank you for that discussion as well. Very good clarifying comments. Moving on to
And just
8.
to clarify just a bit, I just counted the schools again and it's 10 schools.
Oh,
So there's 1 middle school and 3 elementaries that are not here.
okay, so we got more work to do.
Okay. If we could move on to item 8J, adoption of the Local Control Accountability Plan 2021 to 2024. The Jefferson Elementary School District Administration recommends the governing board approve the LCAP for the 2021-24 school years. The LCAP is an accountability plan that requires districts to disclose how local control funding formula funds are spent to provide high-quality education programs. The plan activities were developed with broad community input through 2020 to 2021 school year and will be adjusted in subsequent years as needed.
So as you're aware, this is a result of multiple meetings and lots of presentations to the board over the course of the last year. Lots of opportunities for input and feedback from stakeholders throughout the year. The activities that are listed here inform our budget, which you'll approve later in the meeting. And as I understand it, there have been no changes on this since the last meeting when there was a public hearing held and we had no comments.
If no questions or comments, I'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve and adopt the local control accountability plan for 2021 to 2024.
Second motion.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Great, that was unanimous. Thank you. Moving on to 9C. Notice of termination of contract to purchase electronic equipment. The administration recommends that the board authorize and direct administration to terminate the district's contract with General Data Tech and then re-advertise the contract at an appropriate time.
So not much background here. This is an item we've decided that we needed to pull it before they actually started. And we have that authority to do so. So.
I have a question.
Yep.
Was this contract approved at a previous board meeting?
Yes, the board accepted the bids for this job. And we decided that we're going to wait until the next cycle to do the job. So and to change the basis of the job as well. So we can't just accept it and then start it again, but we're going to actually change what needs to get done. So.
Got it.
As long as we have not issued the notice to proceed, we can do this, and we did not.
another question, sorry. So you said that it was approved, but you didn't change it because you didn't, was the notice to proceed. Is there a reason why we are deciding to, because you said something about changing scope? Is that the reason why, or can you give some
Yeah.
background on that?
Partially it's a changing scope of the work, as well as, one of the bidders had some challenges to the bid process. So that, in addition to changing of the scope, and we just thought, we'll wait and we will rebid this again in the next cycle.
I have a question. Because of the process right now that we're doing, or proposed to do, could anybody sue us for not following up on it?
This is, we're doing this with guidance from our legal counsel.
Could we have that in writing? We have that in
Yeah,
writing?
we do have that in writing. Of course, anybody can always sue us for anything. But do they have grounds? That's a different story, but lawsuits happen all the time.
Okay. I'm asking a very important question because I'm also involved in another agency that's being sued.
Mhm.
Something very similar to this. And believe me, they can sue. So I want to make sure if you can get something in writing from legal counsel, letting us know that we can do this, I'd be really satisfied if I got that.
Yes, I will get that to you.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll take a motion.
We're gonna vote on it anyway? Okay. Okay. I'm
May I
not comfortable voting for this because I don't have an answer yet.
May I make the motion with the comment, since the superintendent has confirmed that he will be getting that from legal counsel, or are we wanting them to table this until that is in place?
I have received from legal counsel that it is allowable.
Can you forward that to us?
I can forward it to Mr. Vidalis and he can forward it to you.
I'm very disappointed that we didn't get that with our backup material. So we would be confident that we're okay.
Mrs.
sorry.
Brizuela, we will get that to you. We have it. There's no
Thank
reason
you.
for Mrs. Kessler and I to not be truthful in this matter.
I didn't say you weren't being truthful.
I'm just
I
saying
said
that
I wish
we
we
have
had
it.
had that information, so I wouldn't have to ask it.
Yes, thank
That's
you.
all. That's all I said.
Okay, we have it and we will forward it to you.
I have a question, sorry. Based on Trustee Brizuela's concerns, is there a way that we can make a motion contingent on if we do not receive that information, not to move forward? Is there a way to do that, or how can we do it to ensure that we're able to ease the concerns that she might have?
Well, one would be we could move this to the end of the agenda, and then I will forward it to you as Ms. Kessler forwards it to me. We can do that, and you should have it by the end of the meeting.
And how will I get it on my computer?
Yep, it'll come through email.
My email?
Mhm.
Dear, that means I have to get out of this. I can't get into my email unless I turn you off.
So I will also have to get out of the meeting because I have to sign on in a different way in order to get to my information on my desk.
Yes.
So, I mean,
It
I think
doesn't work.
Mrs. Kessler, do you know if this notice can wait until the following meeting, or is this something that is time for today?
I believe it can wait until the following
Yeah,
meeting.
we can just move it to the next meeting if that's the will of the
And
board.
of course, the moment, I'm not sure, at one point, depending on how it's done, we lose attorney-client privileges.
Oh, we'll do it in a way that we do not.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Thank you. So I will withdraw my motion, and as suggested, I hear that it can be moved and tabled to our next meeting as an agenda item. So I withdraw my emotion, not my emotion. I withdraw my motion Woo! I withdraw my motion to recommend approval. Thank you.
May I also just say one other thing? If there ever is something that we have to do right away to get something approved, I'm sure that we could have a very quick special meeting to say, here it is, vote on it, if there's a timeline. There's ways to get it done.
Can I also make a comment? You said that we were able to legally proceed because the vendor did not give us a notice to proceed in the.
We did not issue a notice to
We
proceed.
did not give the notice to
We
proceed.
did not issue.
We
I
did
thought
not.
they had to give
No,
us.
no.
Okay, got it. So what do we have to vote on moving this?
No, we just don't take action on it. I mean, you could vote on tabling it to the next meeting. That would be fine. Since it is an action item, I suppose.
So I'll resubmit my motion then to, I make the motion then to table it and move it to our next meeting.
I second the motion.
Motion and a second. All those in favor to move the agenda item to the next meeting, say aye.
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 Thank you. That was unanimous. So the agenda item will be moved to the next meeting. Moving on to 9D, Board Resolution number 21-06-23 for budgetary increases and transfer at year end. The administration recommends the annual adoption of Board Resolution number 21-06-23, resolution for budgetary increases and transfers at year end.
Does anybody need any clarification?
Seeing none, Ms. Kessler. We'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion that we adopt Board Resolution number 21-06-23 for budgetary increases and transfers at year end.
Second.
Motion and a second. Ms. Kovarai, can I get a roll call, please?
Mr. Koo,
Aye.
Mrs. Brizuela,
Aye.
Ms. Jordan,
Aye.
Ms. Leah Inga Anawai,
Aye.
Ms. Manio,
Aye. Thank you, Ms. Kovarai. That was unanimous. Item is passed. Moving on to 9E, Board Resolution number 21-06-23A, authorized signatures. The administration recommends that the board adopt resolution number 21-06-23A, authorizing Bernardo Vidales, Julie Kessler, Brent Marquez Valenti, Pamela Scott, and Michael Lauro to sign orders drawn on district funds.
I'm not familiar with all the names. Could someone tell me the positions they hold?
Yes, Ms. Scott is in the Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction. And then, of course, Mr. Vidales and myself and Mr. Valente. And then Mr. Lauro, he's the one that has been co-presenting with me. He's the Director of Fiscal Services.
Yeah, okay, I remember that one now. Okay. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure who these new people are.
Sure.
Thank you. So we don't have a motion yet?
No.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve Board Resolution number 21-06-23A, authorized signatures as provided.
Second.
Motion and a second. Can I get another roll call, please, Ms. Kovarai?
Mr. Koo,
Aye.
Mrs. Brizuela,
Aye.
Ms. Jordan,
Aye.
Ms. Leah Inga Anawai,
Aye.
Ms. Manio.
Aye. Thank you, Ms. Kovarai. That was unanimous. And moving on to 9F, Board Resolution number 21-06-23B, resolution regarding the Education Protection Account. The administration recommends annual approval of Board Resolution number 21-06-23B, Education Protection Account, identifying the manner in which Prop 30 funds have been expended. Questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve board resolution number 21-06-23B, resolution regarding the education protection account.
Second the motion.
Motion and a second. Ms. Kovarai, last roll call of the night, please.
Mr. Ku,
Aye.
Mrs. Brizuela,
Aye.
Ms. Jordan,
Aye.
Ms. Leah Inga Anawai,
Aye.
Ms. Manio.
Aye, thank you so much. That was unanimous. And item 9G, adoption of fiscal year 2021-2022 proposed budget for active district funds. The administration recommends that the Board of Trustees adopt the fiscal year 2021-2022 proposed budget for all active district funds.
Would you like me to speak to that at all? No?
It's good. It was very, very well presented.
194 pages of it. No, just kidding.
You've read them all.
Magnifying glass at some points. No, it was good. Thank you very much.
I'll make the motion if there are no questions from the board. I will make the motion that we approve as recommended by the administration, that we approve the fiscal year 21-22 proposed budget for active district funds.
Second that motion.
Motion and a second. Can all those in favor say aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Perfect, that was unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
10A. Thank you again, Ms. Kessler. On to 10A, certificated personnel. Certificated resignations 2020-2021. The administration recommends acceptance of the following certificated resignations and requests an appropriate resolution be prepared commending those with 10 or more years of service with the district. Cheryl Hendrickson, inclusion specialist, special education, resignation effective June 11, 2021. Ms. Hendrickson has been employed by the district since August 9, 2018. Alyssa Jones, kindergarten teacher, BS resignation effective June 11, 2021. Ms. Jones has been employed by the district since September 8, 2015. Ashley McAvoy, second and third grade teacher at MP Brown, resignation effective June 11, 2021. Ms. McAvoy has been employed by the district since August 24, 2009. Jose Sanchez, vice principal at FR, resignation effective June 23, 2021. Mr. Sanchez has been employed by the district since August 8, 2017. And Emily Sanford, second and third grade teacher at Garden Village, resignation effective June 11, 2021. Ms. Sanford has been employed by the district since August 11, 2016. Mr. Valenti?
Yeah, I just wanted to, again, say thank you to all of these folks who have put in not only a really tough year this year, but for all their years of service. Ashley McAvoy is somebody that I knew when she started subbing when I was still principal over at Woodrow Wilson. Sad to leave her go, but everybody's leaving in good spirits, and I appreciate all their years of service.
No other discussion? I'll take a motion.
I would like to make a motion that we approve certificated recognitions and request and appropriate resolutions be approved commending those with 10 or more years of service with the district. Cheryl Hendrickson, Alyssa Jones, Ashley McAvoy, Jose Sanchez, and Emily Sanford.
I second that motion.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Sorry, Ms. Brizuela, was that an aye?
Oh, I said aye.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry. Did I say it loud enough?
I like to see this.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No,
Aye.
sorry. Thank you. We only got a couple more meetings like this.
I know, thank goodness.
That was unanimous. Motion was passed. Thank you again to our certificated staff for your years of service. We're sorry to see you go and wish you the best of luck on your new journey moving forward. And item 10C, administrative appointment 2021-2022. The administration recommends hiring the following administrators for the 2021-2022 school year. Karen Hong, principal of MH Tobias, effective July 13, 2021, 214 working days, 1 MWMA step 2, and Christina Sanchez, Dean of Academics at TRP, effective August 3, 2021, 198 work days, 1 MWMA step 1.
Yeah, thank you. You did meet Ms. Hong at our last meeting in closed session. She will be starting her journey as MHT's new principal, and we really appreciate and are really excited to work with her in this capacity after the board takes action, as well as Ms. Christina Sanchez, who came on earlier on the screen. There she is. I told her it was her initiation. So putting her at the beginning of the board meeting. Christina is coming on as the new Dean of Academics over at TRP. She's just stepped up in so many capacities. And again, after the board takes action, for them to say a few words to everybody. Looking forward to working with both of them.
If there are no comments, I'd like to make a motion to approve the administration appointment at the recommendation of the administration for Karen Hong for MHT, principal of MHT, and for Christina Sanchez as the Dean of Academics for TRP.
Second, the motion.
Thank you. Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That was unanimous. Thank you so much, Ms.
All right.
Sanchez, for being here with us this evening.
Thank you. Should I ask Ms. Hong, would you like to say a couple of words, or if the board members have anything they'd like to say to them?
Yes, good evening, everyone. I'm very honored and excited for the opportunity to serve my community in Jefferson Elementary School District. I'm very grateful for the leadership opportunities I've had. I started off as a classroom teacher, then an instructional coach, dean of students, interim and summer principal, and now I have the opportunity to join the Tobias community as the new principal. I live in this community, so it's very meaningful and very special to me to be able to serve students and the community in this new capacity. So thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you. Christina?
Thank you. Good evening, members of the board and Jefferson Elementary School District administrators. My name is Christina Sanchez, and I've been working in the district for about 10 years. 7 of which were at George Washington Elementary School. So I'm so honored to continue working with the same community as the Dean of Academics. And I'm looking forward to also working with the incredible TRP community. And I want to thank the board for accepting my appointment. And I'm so excited for this new journey. So thank you so much and have a great evening.
Congratulations.
Thank you both. They're very busy as principals this summer at the different Big Lift programs, so I'm sure they're ready to go back and get ready for tomorrow's work, right? Thank you all.
Thank you. Congratulations, you two. And we're so happy and honored to have your dedication as a blessing for our district. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you both and welcome. Congratulations.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Good night.
Right.
Okay, I think, what is next? Item
That's it for
12A.
me.
That's it for you. Thank you, Mr. Valenti.
Yeah, we'll see you all in a little bit.
Item 12A, board policies. And and administrative regulations, March 2021 CSBA board policy updates, first reading. The board will review and revise board policies, administrative regulations for March 2021 CSBA board policy updates as stated in a first reading.
I will make a motion that the board adopts the first reading of the CSBA board policy updates for March 2021 as presented.
I'll second the motion.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That was unanimous, so pass. Thank you. Moving on to item 13, persons wishing to address the board on unagendized or closed session items. This portion of the agenda is available for individuals to comment on or address the board on any issue that is under the board's jurisdiction and not on the agenda or an item addressed in closed session. Have there been any speaker cards submitted?
No, we have no speaker cards for tonight.
All right, so moving on to 14, governance team member comments, reports, and board meeting reflection. Who would like to go first? Yes, trustee Lane Anawai.
Not all at once. I just want to wish everyone a great summer. It's really refreshing to see us be able to receive, the recommendation for new administrators and new staff, and be able to move and progress towards our new school year and putting things in place. What I do appreciate is not often that we take the deep dive in some of the things that we're here, because we have full confidence in our administrators. And I love that we've been able to have that strong relationship. But what I love even more is that level of transparency and the integrity that each of the board members brings. And I love that we were able to take the deep dive in some of the agenda items and be mindful and rethink the things that we put forth and approve. So I appreciate the patience of our administrators, Superintendent Vidalis, for allowing us to revisit this as a collective. So I think those are the moments that define the work that we do, because we aren't a rubber stamp board. We definitely are not, nor are our administrators pushing things through. We have these conversations and this interaction that allows for us to make good, sound decisions. So I appreciate tonight's meeting, and it looks like it's a little early. I don't have my clock on, so yeah. But have a great summer, everyone. All the best. Stay safe.
I can go next. I echo my trustees' sentiments as well. I'm really grateful for the questions that are asked, because it actually allows me to learn more. And obviously, hopefully that transparency and the deeper understanding gives our audience and our community members some more insight into what we're doing to ensure that we have the best school district and policies in place that will move our district forward. I am excited about the summer. I think I said that earlier. I am happy that we are able to travel again safely. I'm also grateful vaccinations. So if you have not gotten yours yet, you have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out, look at the local ordinances, make sure that you are protecting not only yourself, your family members, but our community at large, so that when the fall comes and we go back to school, that we can be confident in the safety of our entire community. So really, really thankful for tonight's meeting and looking forward to the fall and going back to school.
Is it my turn? No?
Can be if you want it to be.
Okay. I just wanted to thank everybody for a meeting that we really got a lot of things discussed, which is great. It's I'm welcoming very much that we get to go back in person. I think there's no meeting unless we're in person. That can be really absorbed by everyone, where people can come and listen and speak when they want to speak. And I can hardly wait for that. So thank you to everybody for getting us through this last year. And I look forward to a real exciting year to come, that we're going to do some really good stuff. And we're going to all do it together inside. Thank you very much.
And I guess I'll go last. Just want to wish everybody again, happy summer, happy July 4th holiday coming up actually. I also want to just express my thanks to everybody who put together the LCAP, whether it was meetings, just hearing from the public and the community, as well as sort of helping to put together the budget. I know that it takes a lot of work to get those two massive documents completed. So just want to express my thanks to everybody who was part of that process and who helped us shape the budget, from the district staff to teachers, parents, community members, and just everybody else. So just want to express my thanks.
Great, thank you all. Likewise, I do want to express my gratitude toward all of you on the board. You guys, as well as our administrators and superintendents, are the very definition of servant leaders, which is unfortunately not prevalent in politics, but we have the awareness, we have the foresight, we have the stewardship and the commitment to our district for growth and progress and building community. And I'm very thankful to be here with you all. And what a difference a year makes. I mean, I can't believe where we were this time last year compared to where we are now. And I so look forward to the following school year and being able to be together with you all in person in the coming months and continue to progress with our district and our community. Thank you all. We are going to adjourn this meeting in honor of Refugio Perez Hernandez, father of Javier Perez, custodian at George Washington Elementary School and Maintenance Department, and great grandfather to several JESD students, as well as David Morris, teacher at Benjamin Franklin Middle School. Thank you all for joining us this evening. We're adjourning this portion of our meeting at 8:10 p.m.
Going into closed session.
Yeah. Ms. Mania, would you like to go into closed session at 8:15?
Do we stay on this same Zoom?
No, I placed the link in the chat. And I sent it yesterday afternoon. I can resend it during this break.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
what do I do to get into it, since I don't have all?
Yeah, you just click on that link and wait for me to get there to open the door.
What link? What link?
You go down to the center of the screen. It says chat. In there, there's
Chat? I don't
Yeah.
think I have chat. I have
there's
stop video.
okay. Well, I will send it in an
Mute.
email right now to all of you. So you open your email and you can just click on that on those blue letters.
Because I have to leave the screen to do that.
Yeah, we all do.
Okay, so
Okay.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
good night.
Night.
Have a great 4th of July.
Good night.
So we'll see you at 8:15.
Yes, and I'll resend that email right now.
Thank you.
Okay.